Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here. Today we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 because for the last couple weeks, we've been talking a lot about the GTA 6 leaks that apparently Grand Theft Auto 6 might get one last delay, pushing it into early 2027. It sounds like the game actually has quite a bit of polish left in the tank. But today we're talking about the fact that a very reputable leaker has said this game is going to be digital only. Yes, even though this is actually coming to PlayStation 5, it's coming to Xbox. Apparently, the Take-Two Interactive people and Rockstar Games are downright terrified of a single copy leaking early. Apparently, they're just saying that if this gets out at all, it could just ruin us. So instead, they're going fully digital at launch. They're even telling a lot of the big distributors that print discs, don't bother. We'll contact you in 6 months. Let's talk about this because it seems like a lot of social media, Reddit especially, Twitter especially, are pissed, saying after 14 years of waiting for this game, I can't even buy it physically. GTA 5 came out on PlayStation 3, and here we are talking about a game that's practically a PlayStation 6 game. Let's talk about it because the reactions are mad. I hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It is currently day 3 of basically being completely frozen in my house, and I'm about to start running out of White Monster. Then things are going to get real spicy, but this is the story itself. We're going to talk about it, but this was originally broken by VGC, and it starts with GTA 6 may not have physical versions on day 1 in order to avoid spoilers. Take-Two may hold back physical versions until after the game is available digitally. Look at this. I can't imagine seeing this happen to the biggest game of all time. They're trying to maximize every angle on day 1. This is foolish. It will harm sales heavily. I will not buy the game digitally. And I think this is interesting because I do think that there has been this interesting, weird pushback from the gaming industry where there was a ton of data that most gamers, most money spent is digitally, right? Not just V-Bucks in Fortnite or skins in Marvel Rivals. There is a lot of talk that even for full-priced $60, $70 games, most people are buying them digitally. At one point, there was 1 year, I want to say it was a couple of years ago, where 90% of all sales, especially on PlayStation, were actually digital. And then there was this interesting backlash where it felt like a lot of people were saying, no, physical games matter. Like having a cartridge for a Nintendo Switch game, having it something where not even like a fake disc, in actual, the entirety of the game is on a disc. I can play it offline. A lot of people do care about that. Physical forever is a very big movement. I do think that this really won't hurt the sales though, if we're being honest, right? It's GTA 6. I mean, people want this more than they want oxygen, right? But let me actually look at the full article here. Sad news reached the PPE editorial team from a trusted source. The leaker previously leaked that Microsoft Flight Simulator was coming to PS5. So this dude knows his stuff. He is the person who also leaked the release date of Sonic CrossWorlds for the Nintendo Switch 2. Our source, who's involved in the physical video game distribution for Europe, has informed us that Take-Two, the publisher of Grand Theft Auto 6 obviously, is currently not planning on a boxed edition, at least not for the initial launch, specifically to prevent possible story spoilers or even early gameplay launch from leaking. So here's the thing. Part of what sucks about this is that this is not just, hey, you'll get it a week after launch. If they're not even printing the discs until after the digital edition is there, I do think that honestly, this is a sign that really you're probably not going to be seeing this for maybe months. Usually when it comes to physical editions, it's not just the time it takes to print. It's not just, hey, here's how long it takes to physically mail the disc. It's that you're printing the box art. You're trying to do so much stuff. You got to distribute it. This is a very, very slow rollout. If they're doing this where they're not even going to start printing it till after the game is out, I think easily you're not going to have a physical edition of this until 2027, which is wild. According to the initial unconfirmed reports, GTA 6 will be the first digital-only release for consoles, with physical version following at a later date set for the first half of 2027. So very likely it could be an actual 6-month delay between the initial launch and the physical launch, right? Now, what's funny is that people are very conspiracy-minded in the gaming industry. A lot of moves now are made purely for profit. It's not about what's good for gamers. It's not about some grandiose 10-dimensional chess. It's purely for profitability. And even though this game is going to make, tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, they're going to try and find a way to do this so they get an even bigger upfront cut. That's definitely what this is. If this is true, it'll have nothing to do with leaks, and likely that Take-Two is trying to get a bigger initial prut of profit. That way they don't have to mail out physical games, because manufacturing costs and retailer costs do cut into that profit margin. Basically, selling something digital, you get 70% of the profit, because 30% is always going to go to PlayStation. When you sell a game through PlayStation Network or through Steam or through Xbox, they take a 30% cut. They're still like, okay, if we sell, $100 billion worth of games, we're still going to get $70 billion. That to us is more worth it than, all right, printing a disc, mailing a disc, porting a disc. There is also a lot of talk. The tariffs are getting insane. I don't think that's a political thing to say. I think a lot of video game collectors have noticed the fact that some collector's editions are not even coming to the United States anymore, right? Isn't that like Resident Evil Requiem has a cool, amazing collector's edition in the rest of the world, but because tariffs are getting so out of hand, they're like, okay, we're not going to mail you a $400 collector's edition that's $150 in the rest of the world. I think a lot of these companies are starting to go, okay, it's so expensive to even mail you a disc case or even try to get the plastic into the country to make it inside the United States. A lot of people are like, man, it's just not worth it for us to lose, 30% of our total amount of profit. We'd rather just sell it to you digitally, right? Look at that. Bingo, we have a winner. Makes sense. There are people out there who will likely break into stores and sell early copies. This is the thing. This has also happened a lot where people end up selling early copies. I'm not going to confirm or deny, but I will say that I have heard of many YouTubers who make a deal with a local mom and pop shop and gets a game a week early, and they say, hey, I want to be able to make your content for this early. This game costs $60, $70. I'll pay you $200 for that early copy because to me, it's worth it, right? I'm going to make a video at it that'll make thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't care about, that upfront $200 extra fee, right? Gosh, look at this. I even saw over on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors Reddit, they're mad as hell. Games go gold about a month before release. It's literally impossible to have this information, especially 10 months before release. But production of those discs has to be scheduled months in advance. It could simply be a precaution in case they delay again, especially since the sheer demand of this game is going to be God knows how much worldwide. This may really exceed the printing capacity of the discs worldwide for at least a couple weeks. Wasn't GTA 5 leaked about a month early through those digital pre-orders? This is the thing, is that I think that this is real because I think there's two separate options. Sell you a fake disc that has the tiniest bit. There are so many games, we've all bought them by accident, where you put in the disc and only the tutorial, only the opening mission is actually physically on it, and the rest is something you have to download and patch. Or what some games do now, which I hate the most, is it requires an online connection, even if it's single player, where even if you put in the disc, a disc you've bought into a console you own with an account you've set up, it won't actually work until you are perpetually connected to the internet for verification that it's allowed to be booted up. I think that this leak to me seems 100% real, and I do think that it's honestly just Rockstar greed. I do think it's just Take-Two trying to figure out, all right, how much can we really get away with squeezing every person for this? Rockstar loves people who double dip. I mean, they had it especially with GTA 5. Here it is on PlayStation 3. Here it is on PlayStation 4. Here's the special edition on PC. Here's the upgraded edition on PlayStation 5. People are going to be buying this again and again and again. They're definitely going to be selling it GTA 6 on PlayStation 6, on PlayStation 5, on PC. They're trying to get you to dip until your dipstick falls off. But this has been an off-the-cuff video by DreamcastGuy, sitting here in the cold, barely alive because of these wonderful life-saving spotlights. But I love you very much. Hope you guys are having a great day. If you could please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Oh, God, I only have 3 of these left, so this better thaw.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.